You are listening to Power Marketing with Kevin Lee. Here's Kevin.
You reminded me of something I've told my team when I talk to them about sort of strategy through execution, is I talk about campaigns working best when it's the right message against the right audience at the right time and the right price. And so obviously as media buyers, you control several of those levers, right? But you typically don't control the creative, in other words, the message, right? Mm-hmm. And so one of the disconnects I've seen is sometimes the media people won't talk back to the creative people and say, oh, by the way, for this particular really important segment of our audience, we don't feel like the creative is quite resonating. Do you find yourself sort of pushing back and providing positive or constructive feedback to creative teams with regards to that?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly happens more less in a pushback sense, I'd say, and more in a collaborative sense. We partner with quite a few creative agencies, and they're all amazing. And I've seen over the years folks that are at creative shops getting more interested in how their creative is performing, and just wanting to know what people are responding to so that they can do better. So the dialogues have gotten more two-way. I've found, at least, and has been our experience at Mediastruction, which is a great thing. But one note, Kevin, is there's also like the brand itself that sort of has a responsibility for their business to do well if they're paying attention to their own content as well. So it could be in things like responsive websites, so that when people are navigating to you, they're seeing things that they've actually searched for or sought out in a very interesting way, versus having a singular website or just a handful of landing pages that might be kind of tested against each other. And, things like chatbots, like let's have a conversation with your consumers and use AI in that way, even if you don't have necessarily the staff to sort of be on the phone with every single individual person. But those applications, content-wise, are, I would say, just as relevant as the ads themselves, if not more so.
And I would say I've seen Jenna use data to storytell around creative, response and efficacy. So, if you're trending, data visualization over time, and you can see that you can kind of start to see the journey and see which creative iterations or touch points that your customers are engaging with more frequently. It does tell the story of which call to action or colors or just all kinds of visual elements. Performance.
Yeah, you mentioned touch points, and obviously agencies are often thinking about all the advertising and marketing related touch points, whether they're earned media or paid media. Mm-hmm. But some of the most important touch points that the consumer has is with the brand itself, right? And another thing that I've discussed directly with clients and with my team is no amount of great media or marketing is going to overcome a bad brand experience, right? And so I think it's important, and it's great that you guys have the ability to be discussing with senior management the holistic view, right? And this idea, like if you make a promise in your media and marketing, you have to be able to fulfill that promise, with your brand. Do you find that you end up taking a fairly strategic role, given the fact that the mid-market, you do have this ability to talk to the senior management about things like what's the brand experience? What are the experiential touch points?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that we lead that conversation, but I think that we can have a seat at the table. I'll give you a great example. One of the media mix model methodologies we use is built on a simulation platform, and it ingests all kinds of data, of course, the traditional sales and media touch points, but it also has behavioral algorithms. So you can use brand tracking data, consumer perceptions about certain brand features, levels of awareness. Even if you have research around the strength of your creative, especially in comparison to your competitors, you can kind of ingest that as a data set, and it'll provide for you like the strength of your media or a recommended media mix based in context of that brand health. So I think that, there isn't a we're all working towards the same end. So whether it's SEO or whether it's the brand building team or brand tracking team or the media or the creative team, there's a ton of synergy there. So we're seeing more and more often, not only a seat at the table, but sometimes like, okay, let's have this initial conversation about what we want our message crafted and how we want it to convey. But like, before we get too deep into that, let's see where our consumers are engaging and kind of build out that channel mix first. And then go back to the creative to resonate within that channel.
Kevin Lee's Power Marketing is available on all your favorite podcast networks. Kevin loves helping businesses excel at marketing. Having marketing challenges? Just like Santa in the Miracle on 34th Street, if Kevin can't help you, he'll know someone who can. Find him on LinkedIn, subscribe, or follow.